Hello and welcome. I'm JR and thank you for joining me here again tonight. It's all about the game. That's what we're talking about tonight. It's all about the game. Knowing the game that you're playing. And that's a big thing that you might want to really investigate in your life. Anybody ever think why they're losing? Anybody think why it seems so hard? You ever think why it's not meant to be? Why you try this but it doesn't work over here? You ever look at those little kids and they get so frustrated and they're trying to stick a square peg in a round hole and then lose their shit and they throw it all about and they give up? Well, it's because they're playing a different game. That's not meant to go there. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about tonight. It's going to get a bit heavy, it's going to get a bit light, and I hope we all get out what we need to out of this. The heavy side of it is life and death. That's reality. That's the game that we're playing, and a lot of people pretend that we're not. So it causes them all sorts of grief. That's all it is what we do in the middle. That's all that we've got. The two certain things is we're going to be born. When we, consciousness, reality, come into this world, into this universe, we are life. And then at a certain point we die. And that's death. That's the game that we're playing, life and death. We pretend as human beings that it doesn't exist, that death won't happen to us, and we act like it. How many of you sit down and watch television? Seriously, how many of you sit there and do mind-numbing stuff? I call it dumb, but just how many of you pass time? A lot, right? On your phones, constantly needing to be stimulated, keeping you from the actual only real truth there is death, and when it's coming. The thing that I want to talk about death for is it's the greatest motivator in the world, strangely. And it is usually the only greatest motivator in the world when you're close to it, which is strange. Why? It's because we think we're playing a different game. We are shocked as human beings when death rolls around. We say, poor me, why me? People say all this weird and wonderful stuff. It's not their time, or blah, 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 blah. And I don't want to seem insensitive, but you're playing a different game. And I can say this with utter confidence because I've died. Like most people don't know that, I've died. I've been completely flat, cold dead. And I was lucky enough to be brought back alive. And I had a crash a few years ago that I saw my life flash in front of my eyes and it changed me forever. I get a second look. I get a look down the rabbit hole and come back. And that changes you. You look at anybody that's come back from being dead, they're not the same. They see reality for what it is, and the fact that how close to the edge you get with everything, and you take everything for granted. So I want you to just sit back for a couple of seconds. This might seem really heavy, but it's not. I want you to just sit back, and I want you to realize that right now you're alive. And that's the most amazing thing, is right now you're alive. But you don't know when your next moment's going to be up, like I didn't. And the thing about death is, you want to know, the hardest part is that it's your last moment. You have No more. That's it. You never, ever, 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 ever get to touch another person, the person you love. You never get to hear their voice. You never get to say goodbye to anybody. Ever. That's it. You haven't got a second chance. You don't get to right your wrongs. You don't get to be all that you were meant to be. And if you're searching for love and you die, it's going to be the most painful experience of your life, knowing that you will die without ever meeting your twin flame. And take it from me from experience, that was the hardest, most painful thing that I think saved my life. Is the fact that I will not tolerate dying without making a difference. I will not tolerate dying without making a change in this world. And I got my second chance. And I just want you to realize this, that every moment you think you've got, it might be your last. So do not waste it. Do not waste it on numbing out your day. Do not waste it on drinking. Do not waste it on parties. Do not waste it on smoking drugs, doing drugs. Do not waste your life. It is about making a memory. The one that you can high-five yourself and just go, boom, alright, and just let go and die. Because we, as human beings, misunderstand everything. Ever think about that? This planet works perfect, right? Well, it did. It works perfect. Every organism on this planet lives in harmony. Everything, before humans, but everything worked in harmony. Miracles upon miracle, animals and wonderful things all across this world. Like, you ever realize that grass all grows the way it grows? Every tree grows perfectly. It is perfect. Like how it all just works, right? Humans try to constantly find out how it all works, because they have this false sense of control over the cycle. You think control is going to give you an extended life, it's going to give you control over the reality? It's not. So human beings, we spend our entire lives for what? Think of all the scientists, what they do. They're all trying to understand everything, instead of realizing that it works perfectly well and that we should enjoy it instead of taking it for granted every single microsecond of our day. We take everything for granted. Most people don't even realize the miracle of nature, the evolution from a weed to a flower, that it's more healing to lie in the grass than it's to take any sort of see, automatically my brain goes, lying in the grass, meditating. It's hardwired. It's medication. See, we are a whole organism. Our body runs on autopilot, right? Sorry, wrong word. Our brain runs on autopilot. Our body is a machine. It's a self-maintenancing, self-healing. It's a machine. And I want to talk about something that actually popped in my head before. Is that, okay, so we're a perfect running organism, right? A machine. So I'll put a bulldozer in there, right? So visualize a bulldozer. If you don't know what a bulldozer is, you could go look at one. A machine, right? So that machine over there does its thing, right? And it's got its whole thing, that the way it works, engine, the tracks go round and round, and there's machine drive, boom, 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 right? How would it be if somebody was to look at that machine and what it does and make fun of it and saying it's weak and saying it's pathetic and what I'm referring to is crying. So human body has emotion, and crying is a way to let go of emotion and old hurt or anything. You could get worked up, you could be mad, you could be sad, you could be happy. Have you ever realized all these emotions have one? If you're at a high enough level of intensity, you will cry. It's a wastegate. That's what it is. Now, for all these people that think crying is a weakness and that it's sad, it's pathetic, the things that you say that these things are and the people that are for doing this is a reflection of those exact words that you are putting upon them that you are. You are exactly that. You are sad and you are pathetic. To ever think that being vulnerable is a weakness points out just how weak you are. Absolute vulnerability is absolute strength. Knowing your absolute self is absolute strength. There is nobody can say anything to you. If you are gay, if you are bloody transgender, if you are black, you are white, you are Indian, whatever it is, you're you. And if you accept that, it does not matter what anybody says. You are you. So this is a thing about humans. We care too much about everything else except ourselves. Instead of looking in the mirror, we look at everyone else and we judge everyone else. And it's unacceptable. How civilization follows all the wrong people, that our civilization entrusts our destiny in untrustworthy people. It's ironic that our civilization thinks it's okay to let 30,000 children starve to death every single day. Yeah, it's scary, the fact that we think it's okay for this to happen. Every 3 minutes, the next veteran takes their life. It is illegal to feed homeless people in America. You think that's alright? That collecting water is illegal? Really? It's property of the state? It's not. It's on this planet. And we're all in it together. Each and every single one of us are the same. Equality. It is the decisions and choices that we make that makes us different. That's it. If we constantly choose to be better for ourselves, then we will be better for everybody else. That we will do better for others. See, the lack, you put people in charge with lack, well, they're just going to go out and take because they have lack. And lack, I mean lacking. So you ever look in a relationship, people in them, why? Why are you in that relationship? Deep down, why are you in that relationship? Why are you with that person? Do you love them? And what's love? A passing fancy or true destiny? Are you with that person because you're lonely? Are you with that person because it's easier to be with somebody than it isn't? And that's what it is. Most people find it a lot easier to have someone else, to absorb up and put blame upon them. And I don't think that's acceptable. I won't accept it, so why should you? Why shouldn't you just ask greater things from yourself instead of asking greater things from others? Why don't you be the change? Make a difference. Stand up for others instead of putting others down. One little thing about relationships. Don't ever tell somebody you love them and treat them like shit at the same time. Don't ever yell at somebody. Don't argue. Don't swear. Don't manipulate. Don't let your ego fuck up a relationship. And then dare have the audacity to tell that person you love them. So I want to tell you something. Love is for dying for. Love does not harm another. Ever. That's love. True love for anybody means you have true love for yourself. Unless you truly love yourself, you could never ever truly love anybody, and that's the fact. I have a few codes I live by, and one of them, it's an interesting one. You should all know it. Do unto others as you want others to do unto you, right? Isn't that right? I say fuck no, and yeah, I'm swearing. It's my emphasis. It's like, yes, emphasis. Boom. Fuck no. I don't want you treating me the way you treat yourself, because you treat yourself like shit. Most people do. Have you ever thought about the things that you say to yourself? Things in your head? The way you treat yourself? The way you poison your body? The way you throw your life away? The way you make stupid decisions? The way you let yourself be depressed? The way you let yourself just make horrible, horrible decisions in life and just ruin others? I don't want you to treat me the way you treat yourself. So, when I was coming up with my code, what I live by, when you supply yourself to something greater than yourself, your life changes. So I was like, alright, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. Now that's good, and it worked, so to speak, but yet people, I want them to do to me as they do to themselves, because look at what the human race does to their own species, let alone all the ones that they think they own, like animals. What about nature? You know, this planet sustains us. We don't own it. We're borrowing it. The sustaining rate is plummeting, and it will kill us. Just saying. Tip. So I put another code in there. Before, do unto others as you'd want others to do unto you. And that code, it's a good one. Do unto yourself first as you'd like others to do unto you. And therefore, you are now worthy and ready and capable of doing unto others as you'd like others to do unto you. Pretty cool, huh? Just change the world. And my other code. I'll tell you my codes. This video is not like all my others, okay? I'm seeing too much today to let this slide. My other code. And that code is, if you can't do it sober, don't do it drunk. And this is very broad. And it's for the obvious. If you can't be sober, and that I mean like drugs, any stimulant, alcohol, cigarettes, sleeping around, social media, anything. If you cannot do it sober, don't do it drunk. So if you cannot be single and act like a real person, not be an absolute piece of shit, sorry to say, but sleep around, party, lie, cheat, just take absolutely no responsibility for who you are, and just be on an absolute egoic reactiveness. If you can't do it sober, don't do it drunk. So if you can't be a real person, if you can't be the best that you can be, so if you can't not lie, if you can't not cheat, if you can't not manipulate, if you cannot not control, If you have any egoic behavior, any stupid shit, and you can't not do it when you're single, do the world a favor and do not be in a relationship. Okay? Because you cannot even do it for yourself. And that's where it starts. You have to do all things for yourself. So if you can't do this when you're single, don't go in a relationship. You're just going to mess that person's life up. You're going to be the direct cause of harm to another. And if you do, then at least man up or woman up and take responsibility for your own actions. Or be the change and fix yourself. I say that because I've been there. I've been the worst person. I grew up in shit, and I took those patterns, and I thought that's what the patterns of life was. I thought that's how people behaved in relationships. I thought that's how people behaved in friendships. I thought that's how people behaved in business and in life. So that was my adoption, and I took that on, and I lived that, right? And it did not agree with me, and I made stupid decisions, and I learned from them. And so should you. Every single one of us needs to learn that it starts with us. If you think that being with anybody will make you feel better, that it will fix you, that it won't happen again, you're kidding yourself. You're playing a different game. I see way too many of this. And that's why tonight I had to speak about this. And it's a bit of a strong topic. And I'm not with my chirpy, happy self normally. I'm happy, I'm peaceful, I'm calm, and I'm content. But I really need to emphasize on this. That you have to do this for you. You have to take time and heal yourself first, every single one of you. If you want any shot at consistent happiness. And you don't do it for others. You do it for you. Because I want to tell you something. If you are that person, and you've done all that, right? You're miserable. You're constantly living fulfillment. You're not whole. Most people can't even look at themselves in the mirror. Most people don't even know where they're going in their lives. And that's the truth. This planet that we live on is our Eden. We're in heaven, so to speak. Because we get to experience the greatest wonders in the world, day in and day out, if we choose to. Do you choose to? Will you make that choice every single day? Will you make a choice that is better for yourself and others than your previous ones? And will you continually make these better choices day in and day out? Maybe you should think twice before you say something. And don't listen just to have a response. Listen to hear what people have to say. Don't listen to have something to say back. It's a waste of time. Words are 10% of our communication. That's it. It's all about what you do. And the mask, time will always tell who's wearing what mask and who's hiding behind it and what they're really like. For all those people who, like everyone, has a mascot of some sort. Don't hide. We're all in this together. We've all come from somewhere. We all have a story. And my story has brought me here. My story has brought me into being a life coach. My story has brought me into making a difference. So you're not alone. Don't let your ego stop you from being better. Because deep down, no person wants to hurt anybody else. We don't. Especially the ones that we say we love. The reality is, you don't love them if you hurt them. And if you hurt somebody else on purpose. And when I say purpose, not being responsible for your own emotions, not being responsible for your own actions. Yeah. It's time to be the change, everybody. Before time runs out. There's no more time to change anything. And you're just going to look at a lifelong regret. And for all those people that purposely being pieces of shit, when your lights go out, what are you going to be remembered by? And will anybody remember you? It's up to you. We're playing a game here. It's called life and death. It's pretty serious. And we've only got one shot at it. So not all of us get a second chance. So make sure what you do in the meantime is successful. And when I say successful, it leaves this world in a better place than you found it. It is impacting the people around you in a positive way. Whether you know them or not, you change their lives. Why? Well, if you're watching this, then you've worked out that that's utterly your purpose in this world. It's we, not me. If you turned a blind eye on to people, to what's going on, what has that gotten you? You're not living in the real world. You're not living in here, now. Playing a different game. It's not one that works in this planet. Say, hey guys, sorry for the heavy note, but let's not tolerate them. Let's be the change. Let's make a difference. It's we, not me. And if you want help, like we all do, every single one of us needs help. That's why we're all in here together. It's just not one person sitting on this big, beautiful planet by themselves. That's why we're all here. Come and talk to us. Send us an email. You know what I mean? Come to one of my seminars. Yeah, I'm more than happy to help anybody out. Like I said, our non-profit organization will be up and running pretty soon. That, you can come and hang out. You can come and see what it's all about. Spend a day in our shoes. Read some stuff. Help some people. Be the change. Do it for somebody else, as if you wish they did it for you. And that's what we're all about here at JR. We do everything as if we wish somebody had done that for us. So I want to give you a big shout out and lots of love to every single one of you, because you're all important. Even if you've done bad things in your life, there's always a second chance until the lights go out and it's no more. So while you're here, be successful. make a change. And it all starts with yourself. Go within so that you won't go without. Okay? I love you all so much. Yours truly, JR. Peace out. And come and visit us at jr101.me. Or go to Facebook to JR. Or come to my channel here at JR. A lot of JRs. That's who I am. And talk to me. Or talk to one of us here at the team. Okay? You're going to be alright. Trust me. We're in it together. Have a good night, okay? Or day. Whichever, wherever, whenever. I see you. Have a good day.